Now, as we embark on the theme, unity, united in prayer for this month, I encourage us that we will continue to pray. And as we have embarked on a 21-day of prayer and fasting, that we will hold the faith. Tell your neighbor, hold the faith. Because I know, and believe me, it happened to me. Bishop, sweating and fasting, that is when all of the food offers come. I don't know if it happened to you, but all the food offers come when you're fasting. Sir? Everything smell extra nice, they say. But with Christ, you can do it. Say, I can do it. With Christ. Embracing and uplifting, nurturing, inspiring, transformational environment. The theme, united in prayer. We'll be looking at a book that, everyone I would think would know and would have gone through sometime in their life, the book of Esther. Now, we'll be looking for a verse, Esther 4, 15 to 16, but we'll be basically looking at the book of Esther. Now, 4, 15 to 16 says, Esther sent back to Mordecai's response, go and assemble all the Jews who are in Susa. Fast on my behalf, all of you, not eating or drinking night or day, for these days I and my maid will also fast in the same way. Thus prepared, I will go to the king, contrary to the law. And then Esther said, if I perish, I perish. It sounds familiar. It sounds like another story. Remember the story of the Hebrew boys who said that we will not bow, even if Christ chose not to deliver us. And that is important that you hold fast to your faith, because Christ does his thing the way he wants to, how he wants to, when he wants to. And if he doesn't honor your requests, guess what? Sorry, Dean, can I bring one of the phones? He is still God. Amen? Anyone? Thank you. In the world today, much is said about unity. And you know them all. And some of us use them. Unity and togetherness. Hence, the following phrases. United we stand. We are only as strong as we are united. Ever heard that one? We are only as strong as we are united. Almost the same like the first one. As weak as we are divided. So, you're only as strong as you are united, and as weak as you are divided. And this another one, the chain is as strong as its weakest link. There is strength in numbers. Teamwork make the dream work. And I saw this one by Mother Teresa, which says, I can do things you cannot. You can do things I cannot. Together, we can do great things. So you can do things that I cannot, and vice versa. But together, we can do great things. By definition, the word unite is a verb, and it means to make people or things join together to form a unit, or to join together. The word unite. United, adjective, in agreement and working together. United. Unity, the noun, The state of being in agreement and working together. The state of being joined together to form a unit. So we get the definition. Now in John 10:30, Jesus said, I and my Father are one. So we get united, being together. Prayer, as everybody knows, what is prayer? What is prayer? What's the definition? Give me a definition of prayer. Communication with God. So you put it together, you get understanding. United, communicate with God. Now, unity in the Bible. In the Bible, we read the accounts of united prayers. In Acts 16:25-16, says that Paul and Silas, whilst they were in prison, they prayed. And there was a great earthquake. The doors of the prison opened, and their chains fell off. Acts 12:5-12, Peter was securely, and that was read as the focus scripture this morning. Peter was securely in prison. Now, when I say securely, when you read the scripture, you see how much pains Garfield had put. And Garfield, you would know, imagine you have on 4 handcuffs, hands and feet, and 4 men here and there and everywhere. Peter was securely fastened in prison. But you know what? The church prayed. The church prayed, and all of that which they did, the miracle unfolded before Peter's eyes. Because why? The church prayed. So Peter was miraculously set free from all of those chains and all of those men and all of that because the church prayed. 2 Chronicles 20 said, when the armies came up against Jehoshaphat, he gathered the people of Judah and declared a fast, and the Lord fought his battle. So there are a lot of armies, a lot of people, they joined to come against Jehoshaphat and his people. And Jehoshaphat understood that he was not able. Now, when you look back in medieval days, you find that they used numbers to determine success of an army. And when you read the Old Testament, you see a lot where it speaks about how much men is in this army. Now, the other day, when the war started in Ukraine, the women and children were allowed to go. The men, young men, had to stay to make up numbers to fight. Jehoshaphat was outnumbered. But the armies that came against Jehoshaphat, my British friend, they didn't know what Jehoshaphat had. If they knew, they weren't sure. Just like how some people don't know Christ as a healer, but they know him as a provider. Understand? So you can, in order for you to know him as a healer, you have to be sick. So Jehoshaphat got the opportunity to show them what his Christ was made of. He got an opportunity, Bishop, to show off. And that he did. But he didn't show off by himself. What he did, he called the people and said, come, we are going to petition heaven because the situation requires us to come together. And suffice to say, they prayed and they never had to fight. As a matter of fact, they never had to fight physically. And why I say that is because their fighting there was on their knees. Can I say that again? Delia? Their fighting there was on their knees together. So let's get into the story. Love story? Love story? Okay. So if you love story, and even if you don't love story, let's get into the story. Sister John, the story of Queen Esther. All right, so work with me now. As we look at united prayer, and we look at the story of Esther and her people, and how God came through for her through fasting and prayer. King Xerxes, in the 3rd year of on his throne, hosted the celebration was for 180 days. Imagine that. But he had a banquet for a week with his princes and others. And the celebration culminated with a banquet. His queen, which was Queen Vashti, also had a banquet for her maidens in the palace. On the final day of the celebration, the king was merry with wine. And wine can get you very merry. And sent for the queen. So it seemed like the queen was, give me a word apart from drunk. Because, that's the word that I think you're thinking. What's the T word? Tipsy. I'm not saying that you're drinkers, but, So the king was probably a bit tipsy, as they say. And he sent for his queen. What's the name of the queen? Vashti. Sent for his queen Vashti. She refused, and the merry king got angry. So he was enjoying his banquet and his feast and so on, and he sent for his queen to parade her. Hey, look at my queen. Where's Maxine? Oh, that rhyme. Sardine, that rhyme. Where's your queen, Maxine? I think she's in children's church. And I love her. So he sent for his queen, Vashti, to parade her, and she said, no, me is not coming. I'm not coming for you to parade me. Well, let's see what will go on. Then the king, because he was angry, he consulted with his wise men. And in their reasoning, encouraged that king made an example out of Vashti. This was what the wise men was telling the king. They felt that if the king did nothing about Vashti saying that I'm not coming, it would cause problem. As young people would say, trouble there. What kind of trouble? They're saying you have to make an example out of her. Because if she don't come, other people are going to say then, if the king call you and you don't come and nothing is done about it, it means then, me not have to go when him call me. And the wise men went a step further to say, none of the wives are going to go when their husbands call. So they felt that because of that, the king should do something. They felt that as the older people like Bishop Age and so would say, shall take step of the king. Yeah? So now, the king agreed with the wise men say, right? You need to do something about it. And they proposed that they take away the crown from Vashti. Now, it's important to note that if you anger the king, it won't end well with you. And stick up in with that as we go forward. If you anger the king, it's not going to end well with you, Sister McDonald. So the quest was on for our next queen because she was ousted. Put her out. Hasty. And what normally come after hasty? And bright. Jamaicans you are. So the quest was on for a new queen. Esther was an orphan. And who's an orphan? Yes, that which she said. Somebody whose parents have died. She was beautiful. Now, Vashti was the queen, and you know what she did. And the search was on for a new queen. And Esther, it said that she was beautiful. She was an orphan, never had any parents. She was drafted to vying for the position, so it seemed like a beauty contest, beauty pageant. It seemed like they drew for Lisa Anna, right, to be the queen. Right? Lisa Anna, your side. And suffice to say, Queen Vashti, no, not Vashti, Esther, before I put on the queen, she won the competition, Miss Universe now. So Esther won, and Esther became queen. Yay, celebration. And no doubt, as you'll find further, who are the persons who would be happy? There was a plot now to kill the king. Following the story? Following the story? So there's a plot to kill the king. Now Mordecai, a Jew, the uncle and adopted father of Esther, approved Esther's move to the palace. So when it came up for a new queen, he must say, well, yeah, you can go and go try out. I feel like it'll win because you're pretty. So now he approved. And whilst he was in the palace, he always sought to watch over her. So he will check in from time to time to see how she was doing. And he probably would get a couple grape and apple to eat. You know, that's what rich people eat. And what's the other thing? With the great at the side? Wait, not go fine. Strawberries and stuff. One day, as he was sitting at the palace gate, this is Mordecai, the uncle, adopted father of Esther, he overheard a plot of two of the king's officials to kill the king. Mordecai told Esther. She told the king, and the officials were struck through. Some Bibles say struck through, some says that they were hanged on poles. When I looked at a picture of it, it wasn't a crucifixion. So they struck some poles into them and hung them up. Like, hang them up on the pole. Why? Because of the plot to kill the king. After the foiled plot to kill the king, Haman was promoted. Who I said was promoted? Who foiled the plot? Skip the page and read this back. Who foiled the plot? Mordecai, the uncle of Esther, foiled the plot. The two men who planned to kill the king. And Haman was promoted. So he was promoted to a position for persons who go to court or know about court. When you go into the court, when you enter in the court, what you do? When you enter in like courtroom, no, you never go to court yet. No, you have to bow. Bishop, them never know. And Bishop, who's a JP, which is an ex officio, when you go into the court, and if he's presiding, you have to bow before him. You see him smile? Oh, but yes, it's a custom that you have to bow before. So, Haman, who was promoted, even though Mordecai was the one who foiled the plot, and you think that Mordecai would have been promoted, right? Haman was promoted. And that position came with people honoring him with bows. So imagine how Haman now recently get promoted, start to float around. Because you have to now bow to him when he passes. Mordecai, a Jew, a Benjamite, one who knew the King of Glory, one who knew what God took his people through, decided that he would not bow to Haman. Remember we spoke about it earlier? Remember the story about the Hebrew boys and what they say? Like Esther. We read earlier, if I perish, but I am not going to do that because you're not my king. You're not my God. You're not my provider. So So Mordecai said, listen, I'm not going to do it. Now, the other officials said, Mordecai, you have to bow. Mordecai, youth, you know, see Haman come, bow time. You know, like when parents are come and you do something you know for do, Sister Miller. I'm like, well, Sister Miller was a good girl. Let me see. Can't find nobody. Mummy, I come and you shuffle up because you know what the possibilities are. Right, Sister McDonald? No, not that Sister McDonald, the other one. That one. So they're saying, Haman is coming, Mordecai, bow time. And Mordecai said, no, I'm not going to bow. What the young people would have said? I'm not telling you earlier. Trouble, did they? Sorry, Sister Joan, I did say young people, right? She's my friend. Very young. If you know her age, you'd have said, Joan, how you do it? So Mordecai said, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to comply. But he held firm in his belief, and like the Hebrew boys, he did not bow. When Haman was informed of Mordecai's defiance, he went and did some investigation. And his investigations revealed that Mordecai and his people were exiled by Nebuchadnezzar. Anybody put in the pieces together? By who? Nebuchadnezzar. Who was it who said that the boys were to bow? Story I come to bump, don't. So he found out who Mordecai's people were. Who Mordecai was. A Jew. And the Jews, they serve and they bow to Christ. So, hence Mordecai's defiance. Now, when you find out certain things, when you find out some things, you have to just leave certain things alone. You know Sister Fisher? You find out, say, David killed Goliath with some stone. So what you got test God David for? Sister Morgan, why you not test him? And you hear what him do. But Haman, high and mighty, decides, say, all right, that a keep. All right, watch me here. So Haman now started to plot to kill not just Mordecai. High and mighty Haman start to plot not for one, or two, or three, or four, and five, and 6, and 1,000. So you learn for count, don't? But all of the Jews. Haman that set out to kill not only Mordecai, but all the Jews. He brought a complaint to the king. So he must try to get other people involved in a plot. All right. See where I go keep now. So he got the king. He went and complained to the king and encouraged him to give the command to destroy them. And Haman, hear this now. So I'm saying, King, kill them out. And tell the king why he's going to kill not just Mordecai, but everybody. Why is that? Talk to me now. Why is he going to kill them? Because Mordecai, you know, Mordecai, how much this? One Mordecai. Like how some people that say one KC. I don't know what I'm to them though, but it's not. But the one Mordecai make Haman go to the king to kill out all the Jews. High and mighty. Well, what your parents always say go before a fall? Pride. So he said to the king, give the command to destroy them, and I will give 10,000 talents of silver into the royal treasury. So he's now what them call sweetening the pot. So this is what I'm going to give to the treasury. If it is that you give that command for me to kill out the Jews, add this to the treasury. The king told him to keep his money. Know yourself. Yeah, give me money. I'm a king, you know. I'm not I can order for that the money where you say I give me if you take it from you in a youth. So just breathe easy. So the king said, keep your money. But guess what the king did? He gave the decree. Now in those days, the decree them use signet rings. And that is why you have people that work in an office. What you call it something that way you press. They put in the paper anytime press it. The seal. That's where it come from. But them never so advanced like you now. So them use the ring. So Haman got the ring to seal that order, that decree, whatever it is that he's going to write against the Jews. So the decree was given which gave permission to hear the permission that was given to Haman to destroy, to kill, to annihilate all the Jews, young, old, women, children, in one day. One day, they're going to wipe out all the Jews. Why? Because one man decides, say, you are not my God. Him take it upon himself, burden himself, go to the king and get the decree. I'm not just going to kill them. I'm going to destroy them. I'm going to annihilate them. So I'm going to go deep, I'm going to go hard, as the young people are saying. Because according to the young people, him don't want to what? To go home. Older people now learn today. So them say, go hard. Hard. Learn. That was Haman's plot. When Mordecai and the Jews heard the news, they were weeping and mourning. When the news was told to Esther by her maidens, she was caught between the rock and the hard place. Sometimes you're caught between the rock and the rock. She risked being destroyed because she was a Jew too. Mordecai said, just keep that on the wraps. Nobody just load up that part there, you know what I mean? I tell nobody say. And she did same. So she was caught between revealing who she was as a Jew or to go against the laws which says anyone who came to the king without being summoned. Now when we come to the party, I look on it and I say, then this makes sense. This is my queen. My queen. And I think Bishop had did a sermon some time ago and said, like, then if Nashan want to come to me, him did tell when Nashan did do. Remember? Anybody remember what Nashan do? I think Nashan did wear his shirt or something like that. And I said, but my son. Yeah. So then my queen, so Maxine of it, send me a letter. If you come link me. What you say? So me there work, in my office. And the security, I tell my wife that she can't come into me. Trouble there. Fee security. You hear what she says she name? You don't hear the name? So, oh, see her there too? Like she hear her name and come out. See her there? See her there? So she risk either being revealed as a Jew and get killed, or going to the king without him summoning her with a golden scepter. Esther now kicked into action. She instructed Mordecai to assemble all the Jews in Susa and fast for 3 days. When she did the assessment, she said, the rock, The rock around. But then she said, who is my rock? Sister Porter, who is your rock? Garfield, who is your rock? So when she do the math, she said, but hold on there. Me have to link my rock as Haman plot to kill the Jews. So she sent the message to Mordecai, say, listen, this serious, Miss Dillon. This serious. So you know what I'm going to keep? We are going to do full part. Him say I'm going to kill, annihilate, destroy. But hold on there, amen. So link you. Me soon circle you. Me are going to link my rock. Me are going to link my king. Me are going to link my I am. Me are going to link the one who provide for me, who protect me, who keep me. So she sent the message to Mordecai and said, listen, people, look home. We are going to link our rock. So she declared, say, Mordecai, that I go keep. And guess what? See me, Esther, and my maidens, we are going to do the same. We are going to fast too. Esther was drawn to this position because there was trouble on the horizon. Is there trouble in your house? Is there trouble in your community? Is there trouble in your workplace? Is there trouble in your life? No, if there is trouble, like Esther, you can call on the church and we come together. Them say the chain is as strong as the weakest link. You're wounded, you're hurt, some harm to you, but the church is here. The church is here to mend the brokenhearted. The church is here to give strength to the weak. Come, call your family members. Last week, we focused on house prayer meeting. Because guess what? We understand that the word says that iron sharpeneth iron. What it means that I use a file which is metal to sharpen another metal which is knife. So Esther called them. We hear on the news every day criminals threatening our Jamaica land we love. Call the church to pray. We hear about bishops speak about the young people, the young adults. Right? When you look around, you don't see them. Them they are Exodus. Them they are Numbers. Oh, not Numbers, but there's a party, I think, named Exodus. I think some carnival or something. Them they are Smirnoff party. Them they are everywhere. And he's not got them praising. And many mothers are at home, fathers are at home on their knees, and they're praying for God to intervene in the life of their child so that they will come back to their first love. That they will come back and some to come to Christ. All of us as Christians are brothers and sisters. And what it means that the chain is as strong as its weakest link, it means that if you are hurting, I am hurting. So all of us need to come together to help you with that situation. Hence Esther sent out the word, Mordecai, tell them, me are going to do it too. Me and my people are going to do it too. And as you think about the situations in your life, is there a Haman in your workplace? Do you have a Haman neighbor? Now, if you have none, that's fine, you know. Because it don't mean that if you don't have any, you're free and don't have anything to do. So, daily, if you don't have a Haman neighbor, you can find somebody who have one. And say, come, we're going to pray. Come, we're going to put the situation before Christ. Because sometimes the situation burden you. You know when you fall in love, you can't see nothing. Are those red hearts you're seeing. And Cupid that draw the arrow. But when you go to the minister, he move them something there and show you real life. And she can't cook. Him no like work. She lazy. So when the problem sometimes take us, we can't see nothing else. Prayer sometimes we can't pray. We don't remember nothing what the word say because it depends like burden. And the word, what the word say about burden? He said, if we carry one another's burden. So it was that Haman called it. So like Esther, we should unite in seeking God's intervention in our situation. While Esther and her people were on fasting, she found favor with the king. Remember, she had to get the summon. She never get no summon, but she still go up on fasting and prayer. And she got favor. You know where she get the favor from? Christ. You ever know some situation yet? And when you look on the situation, a doom and gloom, left, right, dark. How when you call somebody and them pray for you, you see the light. It's not them. It's Christ. But him said that we are to carry one another's burden. So he called upon the church to come together and pray. Because enough trouble there. Enough of we have got through some hard times in our communities. Dons and these men take over. Call upon the church. We come together and pray. We can fight them guns and guns. Them have 16, AK, 9mm. Them have all kind of guns. The Colt. Oh, sorry. You don't know what them something there. Them have all kind of guns. But it doesn't matter what kind of guns they want. We have prayer. And so the prayer we have is stop all grenade, rocket launcher. It what? Listen. So the prayer what we have, it changes minds. It saves a soul. Poor Christ have, we have it in our way. So like last year, what we need to do now is activate it. But we are activate it together. So she went into the king and she saw Haman and she said, all right, I keep a banquet and you're going forward to. So you and the king are going to come and Haman feels sweet. And go tell him friend and his wife and someone say, listen, king I keep a banquet, you know. And she invites me, especially. Hey, listen. She said, listen. It's like you get invited to go to the prime minister's banquet. Who say yes? You know the first thing I want to do? When I got leaves. Now I have to buy the clothes. You got a hairdresser. Somebody, what else you do? You got to do your nails, your facials and stuff, and make sure all of your angles are, you know what I mean? Because you're going to the prime minister's. Because the next day you might see yourself on page 2 of the Observer. If you don't read, you don't know, go on page 2 of the Observer. So Haman went and tell him, say, listen, this I got keep. Me I got a banquet. Feel nice now and tell him wife. But something not trouble him. A little niggling, you know, when mosquito, they are. And you box off of them the whole night. Something not trouble him. So him said to him wife, you know, say, the Mordecai brother there, him still not bow, him still not carry out the thing. What do you think we do to him? I tell you. So now, before the wife say, who is he? Tell me about him. And then him and they say, you know, say, I want Jew. Then she just say, leave him alone. Got trouble, did it? You know what wife and friend them suggest? Them say, one nice little plan. We are going to build one 75 foot tall. It wouldn't be foot, it would be feet. Now listen. One 75 feet tall gallows. Bible would have said 50 cubic. And we will hang him up there. That's the wife I say, hang him and Mordecai up there. While the Jews were on fasting, remember, say the Jews are fasting. Yeah, there's a old people. Well, I'm not trouble the old people. The older people, I see people, though, would say, while man a plan, wait, hold on all. And that is real. And that is why we are to seek Christ for direction for our lives. Because sometimes we want to go some places and do something, and Lord, I say, hey, I dare you to go. But Lord, I dare you to go. But Lord, and him say, all right, go on. And when you go on now, Jesus, me they tell you, but God is not like that. So even though you go on, him say, come. Yeah, man, forget about it, just come. I'll show you the way. So the banquet the banquet not keep it. So while the Jews were on fasting, the king recalled an act. You remember earlier we talked about what they go on I get? When Mordecai here said they will kill the king, and then what go on? Before the plot tell Esther, and Esther tell the king, and what go on after? And kill them man there. Right? And then what go on after now? Haman get promoted. Fine. High and mighty, I have to bow to him. So come back now. Skip on the page. So now, the king can't sleep because he must say, hold on there. What did something never happen? And them say, yeah man. Them send for the chronicles and them say, oh, hold on there. Mordecai, him did do this. So whilst him call one of them officials and say, Bishop, what do you think? So no, it so happened that Haman was in the vicinity. And you know what Haman was going to do? Haman was going to the king with his plan to hang Mordecai 75 feet high, 50 cubics, if you is old time. So the king said, hold on there. Wait, Haman is, come here, Haman. Him just right in time. But he was going to tell the king, say, we're going to hang Mordecai tonight. And the king now wanted to lift up Mordecai, but not on a gallows. Some people are planning for your downfall. Some people want to see you dead. But with the fasting and the prayer, Christ is saying life. So he thought it was him when the king asked, how you think if you honor such a person who foiled such a plot? No. Here, Sardine, what Haman have to say. So I them say no. So when you do things, you must just do it good all the time. Him say, listen, if you're going to honor such person, here, because he thought that person would have been, boy. Bishop, you stop say that? Ooh. Remember you used to say that? So now, he said, give him a royal robe what the king used to wear. Boy. Go for royal ass what the king ride upon. Camera try to catch me. Him say go for the crown and put upon him and he not done. You what you gonna do now? You go parade him in the streets. You ever see horse walk? Parade him in the streets so everybody can see. Yes? The camera. You parade him in the streets, but him never remember. Say, people, him a pray. So, the king said to him, me like that. Bishop, me like that. Me like what you suggest. So him say, yes. Me not. What you say? Who tell you? She know her shreps. So the king said earlier, me like that. That nice. Chop it me out. Oh, you mean? You know here, man. See all what you say? Go link up on brother. Name. You can call the name. Go link up on brother name. So, me not king close, no one drop on the ground. You imagine how Haman would have dropped on the ground? You imagine how he skip a couple beats? You imagine how him frozen? Imagine, because him don't know. Jesus. Him don't know the power of prayer. Him don't know the power of fasting. Him don't know the power of unity. The church was united in fasting and prayer. So while he was planning to kill Mordecai, Christ was planning to exalt him. And what if it happen? It happen in your workplace. It happen in your community. So it might not be a palace situation, but it happened. And that is why united we are to be. So here now, so Haman's plot to kill, destroy, remember, annihilate Mordecai, and the Jews were exposed. And so the king find out that the same man will save him, the king's life. Somebody else was planning to wipe out his. So the king said, well, you know, easy. But you're serious? You want to kill this someone? So what do you think happened to him now? What do you think happened to him? You see, it all something. You see 50 cubic, 75 feet, something like build. Older people, I'm going to say old, say when you're digging holes, but I'll say, don't dig no hole for nobody. Yeah? Help them. Pray for them. So Haman was hanged on his own, well, probably if there is any consolation to that they get hung up on your own pole, well, it's his. You know what I mean? Imagine you driving your own car, now your car drive it. So it was his pole. So he was hung on the pole. Genesis 50 verse 20, and I soon be finished. It says, but as for you, you meant evil against me, but God meant it for good, in order to bring it about as it is this day, to save many people alive. We should always remember that our battles are through our faithfulness to God. So our battles are won through our faithfulness to God. Mordecai could not match Haman by himself. Esther could not match the king by herself. They called for reinforcement. The people joined, and in 2 Chronicles 7, verse 14, scripture that we all know and repeat from time to time, And it says, and you can say it with me, if my people who are called by my name will humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then I will hear from heaven and I will forgive their sins and heal their land. Matthew 18, 19, and 20. Again, I say to you that if 2 or 3 agree on earth concerning anything that they ask, it will be done for them by the Father in heaven. For where 2 or 3 are gathered together in my name, I am there in the midst of them. And Mordecai was promoted while Haman was killed. Could we all stand? So I'd mentioned that we face different struggles in our lives from time to time. We go through various issues with various people from time to time in our lives. As we at this time come together to seek Christ for various issues and situations and circumstances, let us believe that He is a rewarder of them that diligently seek